So the title of this piece is Protect the Second, and the subject matter is a Parkland, Florida high school shooting. And some of the visuals that were used are a bunch of gun images cut out, and some little pieces of text that have information pertaining to the subject. So right away, the viewer sees the image spelling out NRA, which stands for the National Rifle Association, and then sees some images on the top. But upon closer inspection, the viewer will see that the NRA logo is actually spelt out using various gun images cut out from a magazine. And seeing that the images on the top, the middle one says Broward County, which is coincidentally where the shooting happened. I don't know how I found that in a magazine. And then on the top right, it's a little tidbit from an article about an argument between people who have saved lives using their guns and those who have lost lives because of guns. The top left is a dog with an Xbox controller, just because. So a bit of research on collage artists. I was able to gather information about kind of like how they send a message through gathering a lot of various different images, but finding a connection between them. So I kind of looked for that when I was making this collage. In the process of gathering my things, I brought two magazines called Game Informer, which are video game magazines. And at the time, two very large shooting games came out, so the magazines were filled with pictures from that, which featured guns. So I just started cutting out all these different gun images, knowing that this project would involve that somehow. And then towards the end, I just kind of came up with this idea of arranging them to spell out NRA because it looks kind of cool and sends a message. So to take the topic of the school shooting and the events surrounding it, and I chose to go with the NRA because obviously right after the shooting, the NRA kind of came under fire from the media, from protests, from the students that are having the rallies and speaking up. And I honestly kind of see it's unfair the way that like the NRA is being treated kind of as a whole, seeing it as like, oh, this needs to be abolished. This caused the school shooting. The NRA didn't have anything involved with it. The shooter wasn't a member of the NRA or anything like that. And I chose to the NRA just because I support it personally, and it's very relevant because anything that seems to have to do with guns in the media is relevant to the NRA. So the message behind my visual there's not really a strong message. It was more just showing what the NRA is composed of, which is a lot of guns, different types of guns, and yeah. So when I was thinking about this, I just kind of thought around this general idea about what's kind of happening in the media, and politics, and the like about this shooting. It's kind of seeing like the two sides fighting it out, and that's why I chose the image in the top right talking about that, because both sides kind of have that argument where people have lost lives due to guns, so they want to ban them, and then people have saved lives due to guns, just like at the recent school shooting in Maryland, where a security guard with a gun stopped the shooter before he could kill anyone, really. So from viewing this, I hope a viewer just kind of becomes more interested in the NRA and just kind of this topic in general, becomes more informed. And my goal in creating this work was just find an interesting thing that could be relevant to the topic and that interests me. And in creating this work, I learned that making a collage idea is a lot more difficult than it sounds and requires a lot more thinking into it to find various pictures that are relevant to each other that can create kind of an overall bigger image. And yeah, thanks.